Tayla Spies, and the QPS, which is the Queensland Police, put out an update about 9:20 this morning, so a couple of hours ago now, and they are saying here, police have confirmed human remains located at a Surat property are that of the missing Roma woman, Tayla Spies. So that is very sad. I don't think anyone sort of thought it would be anyone different. I don't think they thought it was going to be, I don't know, a different person or something like that. But it definitely closes that part of it, like the where is she part. Now that we know where she is, that part is over. The next part is what type of investigation is this? Is it a homicide inquiry? Is it just a very sad, mental health type thing? What type of current investigation is it? And they don't really give us much on that. They said a post-mortem examination will be conducted to determine the course of the investigations. Miss Speed's vehicle was located at the same property on Thursday, April 3rd, and is currently undergoing a full forensic examination. They say police continue to appeal for any information related to her or her movements of her vehicle, and they're saying the investigations continue. So there's that photo of when they found the vehicle. Yeah, let me blow that up for you. So that's where they found her car the other day, just randomly in the bushland of someone's property, not too far from the last area she was found. So, yeah, I don't know what else to tell you about it except for I feel very sad for the family. Obviously, I don't think this was the day they were hoping for. I think they were maybe hoping for a different ending, maybe that she was going to come home after a break or had gone away to gather her thoughts or something like that. Not this. So, uh we'll see where it goes from here. I don't have any predictions one way or the other. I know a lot of people are saying it is sinister, but I haven't seen enough real evidence to point one way or the other yet. I think we need to see something solid to be like, oh, okay, this is where, we're going to go down the third party involvement type of situation. So far, we have a missing woman. And they've found that missing woman and her vehicle. There's no allegation yet that there was anyone else involved. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Gail said, I think knowing is better than always wondering. Well, that's what they say. Some of those missing people cases, like Maura Murray, that family must be going through hell. I mean, it's been over 20 years and they still have no idea what happened to Maura. If you've heard the update recently, there's like some new evidence that they're looking at. Rachel said, it does seem open enough that they would have seen the truck from the air. Maybe not, though. I know that the police officer said if you knew it was there, you could see it. But he said if you didn't know it was there, it was harder to see. So whatever that means, that's what he said in the press conference. So we'll see what the forensic examination tells us. The forensic examination of her will probably give police a lot of information. So if this was self done, that'll probably pop up in the postmortem. If this had a third party involvement, they're probably going to get some clues from the vehicle, the positioning of the body, her injuries, that type of thing to go in a different direction. But right now we just know that she's been found and that it is her. So Marion Lander says, reminds me of Kylie Rodney. Didn't see her car from the air. Kylie Rodney's case, especially when they did find the vehicle, and then you just go, oh my God, it was there the whole time. And it was like a foot below the water. and if you looked on a certain angle, you could see it, and if you looked from the other side of the lake, couldn't tell it was there. No one knew that there was a car there. Uh, yeah, so possibly. Woodland Creature said, "Wait, so we're saying the truck may have been there the whole time?" Don't know. They said they're trying to verify the landowner's statement that their truck wasn't there 12 days ago, but they're not saying that they think that is correct. They're just saying they're trying to verify it. So we'll see. Chevy said, "What about that satellite company that takes photos? See where you can spot the truck." Yeah, we probably could have a look at that. Hold on. It's Yeah, hold on. We might be able to have a look. Hold on. Give me a sec. Oh, okay. I will see if we can find anything through one of the satellite companies that do that type of thing. I just don't know if they do daily, weekly, hourly. I don't know. I know in America you can get it. I don't know in Australia. Isoda Land Viewer, maybe? Yeah, that would be interesting if we could track down some daily sat photos. Okay. I will dig into this after the show, and if I find anything, I will tell you. If I find anything interesting, I will let you know. Share hey, good to see you. Hey, Mr. Dan Yee, how are you? Robbie, good to have you. Share Bear, Woodland Creatures, Marilyn Landis, April B, Rachel's here, Gayla. Who else? My friend Penguin said they'll watch later in the morning. Okay. Diana Brock's here, John is here, Lynn D, my friend, Ringo made it. Who else did we have? Is that it for tonight? Yeah, Sundays are very quiet. I think everyone's like, "Oh, it's bedtime. Gotta wake up in the morning. Gotta go to work on Monday morning." But yes. Yeah, so I showed you the QPS confirmation. It's also been in the media this morning that the remains found on Friday confirmed to be those of Tayla Spies. Remains found on private property. Yeah, so still waiting on that post-mortem examination. We won't know more until we get the results of that. So we'll see. Andrew says, "I'm here." Okay, I'm glad you're here. All right. Okay. Did any of you see that big knife attack earlier today? I don't know if anyone of you were watching it, but there was a giant knife attack in America. I woke up to all these different alerts about some giant someone had a knife and attacked a bunch of people. Hold on, I'm just going to grab it. Yeah, here, this one right here. They said man attacks group of people, including children, with a meat cleaver on New York City.
At approximately 10:15 this morning.
Stop, I'll play you in a minute. They said 4 young girls were slashed with a meat cleaver in New York City on Sunday morning. And they said when a relative went on a deranged and bloody rampage before he was shot by cops, they say police rushed to the home on 84th Street around 10:15 a.m. after one of the victims, a wounded 11-year-old girl, locked herself in a room and called 911, telling the dispatcher that her uncle had stabbed her and her siblings. And they said at that point, the cops heard screaming coming from behind the door to their left and immediately began forcing their way into the apartment, kicking down the door. What the hell? They said once they entered, they encountered a man standing near the entrance holding a large meat cleaver covered with blood. They could see blood on the floor of the home. The officers ordered the man to drop the weapon several times. He refused and advanced towards them. Two officers discharged their firearms, firing 7 total rounds between them, striking the subject, ending the threat. They also said the 4 girls, age 16, 13, 11, and 8, were all suffered serious knife wounds, slash, and stab wounds, and were rushed to a medical center. They are all expected to survive, but they're saying it could have ended very, very differently. They're saying the suspects identified as Lun Chang Chen, 49. Was also rushed to hospital and is in a critical condition. Police said he is believed to have lived in the home where the horror unfolded. The motive for the brutal assault is under investigation. Why would you attack so many children? It's very sad. It's yeah, to attack all these young girls. Let's play the bit of the update from here.
Morning. Heartbreaking call came into 911 for an assault in progress. The 11-year-old caller stated that she and her siblings had been stabbed by her uncle. She did not know her address. Quick thinking police communications technicians at the 911 call center use the technology at their disposal to get an address from the location of the phone that the child was using. Based on that information, officers responded to 1671 84th Street in the confines of the 6-2 precinct. When officers and EMS arrived, they were led into the first floor by an uninjured child and led into a small vestibule facing 2 more doors. At that point, they heard screams coming from behind the door to their left and immediately began forcing their way into the apartment, kicking down the door. Once they entered, they encountered a man standing near the entrance holding a large meat cleaver covered in blood, and they could see blood on the floor and the walls of the home. The officers ordered the man to drop the weapon several times. He refused and advanced towards them. 2 officers discharged their firearms, firing 7 total rounds between them and striking the subject, ending the threat.
There you go. I don't know what to do with that information. Apparently, they were his nieces, so like not dad or anything. But if I take you to an American paper, ABC 7 in New York, they're saying police shoot armed man with meat cleaver to end attack on 4 nieces in Brooklyn. Then they said, yeah, he was wielding that knife, stabbed and slashed the 4 girls in a Brooklyn home on Sunday, and then was shot by police after one of the young victims managed to call 911 for help. She's a very brave girl to see all that happening around her and then be able to lock herself in a room and call authorities. She is very brave, may have saved the lives of her sisters. They're saying the 11-year-old caller stated that she and her siblings had been stabbed by her uncle and she did not know her address. When police arrived, they heard screaming coming from behind the door and they immediately began forcing their way into the apartment. What drives people to do this to people? It's very strange. They're saying 2 knives were recovered at the scene, including a large meat cleaver that the suspect was holding when police arrived. An additional bloody knife was found in another room. Although the exact relationship is still under investigation, authorities say the suspect is related to the victims. According to family members, the suspect has a history of mental illness. Well, there you go. A suspect with a history of mental illness. Never heard that one before. Here, I'll play this one from ABC 7.
We begin with breaking news in Brooklyn. Police say a man stabbed several members of his family, 4 little girls. Then police say he charged at them with a meat cleaver That's when they shot him.
Eyewitness News reporter Lucy Yang is following that breaking news in Bensonhurst. Lucy.
Well, Joe and Tanya, the violent, bloody crime scene in the home behind me is made all the more horrific because the victims are so young and the attacker is believed to be a relative who lived with them. It happened around 10:15 this morning here on 84th Street in Bensonhurst. Police say a 49-year-old man, most likely an uncle, started slashing and stabbing 4 girls in the home, only 8, 11, 13 and 16 years old. Despite her tender age and the trauma suffered, officials report the 11-year-old was able to hide in another room and call 911. Help arrived. Police kicked down the door and tell us they shot the man holding the bloody knife.
They encountered a man standing near the entrance holding a large meat cleaver covered in blood, and they could see blood on the floor and the walls of the home. The officers ordered the man to drop the weapon several times. He refused and advanced towards them. 2 officers discharged their firearms, firing 7 total rounds between them and striking the subject, ending the threat.
Now, the man was taken away in critical condition. He is expected to survive. Police believe he is the uncle of the 8, 11 and 13-year-old girls. Thankfully, all the girls are expected to survive. There was also a little boy who ran to a neighbor's house for help. He was not injured. We're live in Brooklyn tonight.
Interesting that the little boy was not injured, but the girls seem to be targeted. Why the girls were targeted? No idea, but Woodland Creatures said the dude was left alone with his nieces. You want to be able to trust your family. If he had a history of mental illness, you'd think he would always have like a secondary adult nearby. Yeah, they may be able to like stitch them up and that type of thing, but the mental damage is probably going to take much longer than the physical. Cat fur? I don't know about that. Did you say that I don't know, maybe they're not as prolific with knives as their uncle. A ferret around her neck, is that what you're saying? Maybe it's I don't know what that is. What is that? I don't know if it's part of her jacket or some sort of like really fluffy scarf. Or maybe a random fox jumped onto her shoulders and decided to take a nap. Maybe. And maybe, those foxes like to do that with humans. Laurie said, yeah. All right. Very sad story, but that's what all the alarms are going off this morning when I woke up. I had all these alerts about a stabbing and stuff going on, and I was like, wait, who got what? And then I realized that it was in Brooklyn. And we've done quite a lot of stories out of Brooklyn. Last year we had heaps. We had that man that was dismembered and left under a bridge in Yonkers, but I think he was taken from Brooklyn. There was a kidnapping. There was another murder. It was pretty busy last year in New York and Brooklyn and Yonkers. Joe Neal said these girls didn't know a lick of Wing Chun. I don't know if they do. Maybe they do. Maybe they can't use it against family members because of the secret medallion. I don't know. Rachel said a very fluffy scarf. I have one for below 0 temps. Okay. I don't know. It looks like it would keep you pretty warm. No more updates on that one, unfortunately, but hopefully the little girls do okay. Hold on. There's another story. So we mentioned a bit earlier, Maura Murray. There is an update, and I don't know what you guys think about it, but it's this update. I think I read about it a couple of weeks ago, and now it's doing the rounds in the papers once again. It says fingerprint offers break in notorious missing person case pointing to new suspect with checkered past. Now, the new suspect is her boyfriend from college. They're saying that he got done with a bunch of crimes recently, including animal cruelty. So he was what was he doing? He was taking in animals and was supposed to be rehabilitating them or rehoming them, but was like killing the animals and keeping the money. And he'd been charged over that. There's a photo of him there. His name is Stephen Baldwin, but I'm pretty sure he had a different original name. If I can find it. He changed his name after Maura went missing. So that also seems a bit weird, right? What's his name? There's a photo of him when he was a little bit older. He was the director of the Union County Humane Society in Ohio and was sentenced to more than 15 years in prison just the other month. Yeah, so they said they found a fingerprint. Well, he told someone they found his fingerprint on a CD or CD case in her vehicle, in Maura Murray's vehicle. Whether that actually means he was in the vehicle at the time she went missing or somehow before, no idea. But people are saying that maybe he had something to do with her going missing. I'm trying to find if I can get you anything. Yeah, here. I want to take you back to when he was charged with the 42 charges over the animal cruelty thing.
Well, prosecutors say his goal was stardom. Now he's facing dozens of criminal charges. It's time now for 10 TV News at 6. We are really glad you're joining us. I'm Tracy Townsend.
And I'm Yolanda Harris. Stephen Baldwin is the former chief humane agent for the Union County Humane Society. And now he's accused of trying to profit off the animals he was supposed to protect. 10 TV's Brittany Bailey looks deeper into the case. Brittany?
Well, Stephen Baldwin just arrived back from California yesterday, and today he appeared in court to face 42 charges.
Within probably a month, we realized what a good boy Remy was, and we wanted to give him the opportunity to have a normal life.
Remy was saved from euthanasia after being deemed a dangerous dog, but his new owners say they knew he could have a bright future, and they say Stephen Baldwin stepped in to help for a $1,000 fee.
I mean, he was the humane officer of Union County, and he said that he would be able to get Remy's dangerous dog title removed once we had worked with him and we felt he was ready. And that's how Stephen and Remy, the story began with Stephen and Remy.
Within months, there were red flags, and eventually his owners say Baldwin had Remy euthanized without telling them. They eventually went to police, which sparked a years-long investigation, culminating in a 42-count indictment and a Wednesday court appearance. Officials say Baldwin's charges are tied to the deaths of 18 dogs. He's accused of using his ties to the animal rescue community for his own profit and self-promotion.
We had to be Remy's voice. Remy, he lost his life, and if this didn't happen to Remy, Stephen would have, in my opinion, just continued to do what he did for a decade.
I'll leave it there, but you get the idea. And he ended up being sentenced, so he's going away to jail for a long time. But the way it connects to Maura Murray, they're saying Baldwin confirmed that his prints were found inside Maura's car, but claimed he'd been told by the FBI they were discovered on a CD or a case for a CD. He claimed he and Maura exchanged CDs frequently at West Point, but denied sharing any contact with her after leaving the school or ever visiting her while she was at UMass. Authorities have not confirmed where his prints were discovered within Maura's car. Now, apparently they're saying he has a very big history of lying. So whether they were found on the steering wheel or on a CD, who knows what the truth is, but he has confirmed that his fingerprints were found in the vehicle. So maybe a new suspect for Maura Murray. Be nice to have some answers about what happened to her and where she is. So if you don't know her story, there is a good Netflix documentary. It's the facts in it are good. Some of the other bits are a bit, but it tells the story pretty good. I'm just trying to see if I can find one. Yeah, from about a month ago. Yeah, so if you don't know Maura Murray, this will tell you a little bit about it.
Tonight, News 9 investigates on the search for Maura Murray. 20 years ago, this week, the college student from Massachusetts crashed her car on Route 112 in Haverhill, never to be seen again.
This afternoon, authorities releasing this new age progression photo of what Maura might look like today. The mystery surrounding her disappearance continues to be an obsession for cyber sleuths and podcasters.
But as News 9 investigates, Amy Cavino shows us, for the Murray family, not knowing what happened to Maura is a decades-long source of heartbreak and of frustration.
If anybody saw her, call us,
Maura's father, Fred Murray, in 2004. The tree and the blue ribbon are gone, but the sharp bend on Route 112 is unchanged. It's here Maura crashed her 1996 Saturn. 7:27 is the first call to police by a woman.
She said she was shaken up. I couldn't see any blood on her face, and she was shaking like this. I says, okay, I'm going to go call the police.
School bus driver Butch Atwood died in 2009.
There are people out there that they have no training, no background, no experience doing this type of investigation, and yet they think they do, and they bother people, they trespass on property.
Lewis Black is now working with the Murray family, bringing fresh eyes to the case and decades of investigative experience, both as a police chief and now as a private investigator. The intense public interest is complicated for the family and for investigators.
That's what.
Yeah, so she's been missing for a very long time, 20 years now, and still no real, there's some theories about what happened to her. There's some good, ideas and, little bits of evidence here and there, but nothing concrete. Now, they searched a couple of places in the last, year or two. They even brought in a ground-penetrating radar because they thought they had the exact location of where Maura's remains might be. But when they searched it, they didn't find anything. So, very, very sad. Sad we couldn't put an end to this one. 20 years. It's a ongoing mystery. It really is. Rachel said her dad always kept her name out there. He's a good dad. Yeah, he did a lot of media, a lot of different things to try and keep Maura's name around. What is West Point? Isn't it a military? Isn't it like the biggest military college in America or something? I thought that was what it was. Yeah. So will this lead to anything in Maura Murray's case? I don't know. Who knows? Sometimes it just takes these little tiny clues for something to be looked at differently again, and then everything falls into place. That would be really good because it's been just seems like forever, and that we don't really have any, new information or any leads or any way of solving it and bringing Maura home. But maybe this is what we need. There you go. There's a ATM camera from back in the day, 20 years ago. That's what you used to look like when you went to the ATM. You used to look like a fuzzy picture. How they ever ID'd anyone who went to an ATM back in the early 2000s, I'll never know. Sandhurst. I know there's one in California too that's really big, but I can't remember the name. But I know West Point's one of the most prestigious or most famous. I can't say I've ever been there, but I've heard a little bit about it. Yeah, so there we go. For some reason, that is doing the rounds again in the paper about this fingerprint. I read about it weeks ago. It was like 2-3 weeks ago that like I saw it in the local paper in America. For some reason, it's back in the national media again. We'll see. We'll see if it does anything to further the case of Maura Murray. Her one is almost like there's a whole bunch that just don't have endings right now. And, hers feels like one of those. It's like Maura Murray, that guy that went missing after going to the pub. He went to like a bar and then no one's ever seen him ever again. There's a few from that era that are sort of like never been solved. Joniel said Edgar Allan Poe went to West Point. I did not know that. You still look like that? You still look like a wavy CCTV? Okay. It's just permanent, is it? Just permanent. All right. Let's go here. So yeah, how is your Sunday going? Did everyone have a fun Sunday? Well, it's not Sunday here. It's Monday morning down here. I think we're still getting used to the time change. Everything feels a little off. It's sort of like the time of day doesn't feel quite right. It feels sort of earlier than it feels. It takes about a week to get used to the time being changed again. So we'll get there. And it feels weird to be on this time of day. It's a lot earlier. It's only 1:30 right now. Normally we come on at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon during the summer. So it is hours and hours earlier than normal. All right. Let me see. Yeah, we could do that one. If we go here. All right. We'll go here. All right. Let me set this up and we'll go talk about this guy. How we can end up doing this, I don't know, but they say charter captain arrested following confrontation captured on viral video. Did anyone see this the other day? His name is Brock Horner. He's 40 and was taken into custody Friday night. They say the man at the center of a boating rage, is that a real thing? Boating rage incident was arrested Friday night. He's a charter captain and he's been charged with burglary, with assault or battery, and non-forced entry. They say on April 1st, he was captured on video screaming at a young boater in the Peace River. Not a lot of peace if you're yelling at people. He is seen pulling his boat alongside without permission and unlawfully boarding the other person's boat. According to a joint news release by the PD and the Coast Guard, the incident was captured on video, and then they arrested him over the incident. Here, I want to see the video. So this is the viral boat rage video. Let's have a look.
Me out. Chill, bro. Chill, bro. Please, bro.
What, like 5 in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You cussing me out?
Nah, that was the dude in that boat. Were you the one that came through the middle of the bridge? Was that you?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, I was here, but you ran in front of the other dude over there.
You were cussing me out, dude.
Bro, you ran right through the middle of the bridge while we were all fishing.
In the middle of the night, the guy didn't have any lights on.
Bro, we were all fishing here.
Have any lights on?
All right, bro, I'm not gonna do this with you, bro. I'm not gonna do this with you, bro. Like, it's not the right time, bro.
You know the loft?
Bro, you can't come flying through the middle of the bridge, bro.
Yes, I can.
All right, bro. What are you trying to do, bro?
What am I trying to
What are you trying to do, bro?
You want to go?
I don't want to go. I want you to get the out of here.
Big tough guy?
Tough guy? You pulled up on me, mother.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
About it.
Nah, I'm fishing, you like, bro, get out of here. Like, what? What do you?
If you feel the need to say the word bro, more than about like 3 times in the one sentence, you may want to rethink that. I know it seems to be a go-to word for a lot of people, but it just makes you sound crazy on camera. Not that he's at fault, it's all like, "Bro, you got your bros in your bros. Bros, calm down, bros. What are you doing?" It's all bro-y. I know he's a kid, but I find it funny when it's not just him. A lot of people do it in a lot of the videos we watch. But yeah, boat rage, apparently. I can't say I've ever heard of boat rage. I'm guessing any type of vehicle that you can drive with other people can be part of some sort of transit rage. I'm not sure, like, is that a bad thing? You're not supposed to park near other people and talk to them when you're fishing. I guess not in an aggressive manner. Let's keep watching this boat rage.
What are you trying to do? Act like a tough guy in front of your buddies?
No, I'm not. Dude, all these. No, I'm tough.
Bro, all right, bro.
You know what?
Get going, bro.
We're all war veterans. We're all raised.
Well, thank you for your service, bro.
And you're gonna talk shit.
Thank you for your service, bro. But that doesn't give you the right. All right, bro. All right, whatever. I appreciate you for your service, bro. But you don't got to run through the middle of the bridge, bro.
Dude, if your guy doesn't have a
That's not my guy, bro. That's just another dude, bro.
you have to have lights on.
My lights were on, bro. My lights were on.
Guess what the happens?
You can always tell someone who is losing an argument when they start with the whataboutism, when they divert from like the original topic might have been between him and the younger guy and the older guy on the other boat that you can see in the video. When you start going, "Oh yeah, but that guy over there," you can already sense that he knows he is losing the argument, because people only do that when they're grasping at straws in some sort of confrontation. And that's what it seems like he was doing. And then he was basically getting talked down by a teenager.
You die, nothing happens to me.
Right. Okay, bro. Keep thinking that.
No, that's the truth, dude.
All right, bro. Keep thinking that.
Put your lights on.
Bro, my lights were on. I wasn't sitting there. Okay, that's not my dude, bro. Bro, I said, bro, you almost hit him. The other dude was you out.
I almost hit him because he didn't have his lights on.
Bro, you shouldn't come flying through the middle of the bridge. You know people fish here, bro.
Dude.
I'm sorry, man. I don't know if that's what you want to hear, bro.
Yeah, you should apologize.
Oh, bro.
More than you can possibly fathom in your life.
Me too, bro. I'm out here all the time, bro.
I'm 300 days a year on the water.
All right,
Every
bro.
day, I'm the best charter captain you will ever meet in your mother.
All right, bro.
Cuss me out.
Chill, bro. Chill, bro. Please, bro. Please, okay, please, bro.
And that's where it becomes a felony. You can't be boarding other people's boats in that sort of aggressive manner. What is this? Some sort of pirate situation? What are you going to do? Like, take it over and plant your pirate flag on his boat after you beat him up? Like, you're the best goddamn charter captain in the world, are you? But you have time to sit there and yell at a teenager. I don't know too many people that are the best in their whatever that have time to sit around and yell at a teenager for some random reason. Like, it was the most random, stupid thing. Just piss off and go on your own way. It's people like that that really annoy me, that can't just stay in their own lane and just do their own thing. They're always people that gotta, like, mess with someone else or annoy someone else or have it over them for some reason. And you can tell he's just a jerk. Well, I'm glad he's been arrested. We'll watch the last minute and then I'll tell you more about it.
Please, bro. Please, bro. Bro, I'm a kid, bro. Please.
Apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
You're gonna cuss me the
all right, bro.
in the middle of the
No, bro. Please, bro. Please, bro.
my boat.
Okay. Please.
apologize.
I'm sorry, bro. That was not me, bro.
Yes, it was,
I know I
motherfucker.
was here, but my buddy was
Take
on the
me
boat.
back to my fucking
Sir,
boat.
I'm a kid, bro. Please, bro.
I don't care. You don't cuss me
Yes,
out
all
and
right.
talk shit to me, mother.
Yes.
What a punk. You're doing this to a kid. That kid should have beat your ass, old man. Like, that kid could have probably taken you in a second. Like, you can tell that that teenager's being, like, non-aggressive for the majority of it, and that guy's just I don't know what. Did he have too much steroids for breakfast or something? Too much roid rage? Eating too much of that, mercury in the fish or something? What the hell? He deserves to be arrested for that. Like, just go do your own thing. Why do people always gotta be in other people's business? Like, just piss off. I can't stand people like
Sir.
yeah.
Don't do it.
I can't listen to his voice anymore. He's just a jerk off. Yeah, so Brock Horner, the best boat captain in the goddamn world, apparently. You can be the best boat captain in jail, okay? But boat may be slang for getting hammered up the ass by another friend in prison. They'll call you the boat captain, and you have to wear like a little hat. They say in addition to the criminal investigation, the U.S. Coast Guard and the FWC are conducting separate investigations due to the location of the incident. They're saying this type of behavior will not be tolerated in our waterways or anywhere else in our city, according to the police chief. We are committed to ensuring the safety of our residents and visitors, both on land and on water. Horner is being held at the Charlotte County Jail. So there you go, Mr. Brock Horner, the best boat captain in the world or whatever. Whatever. Yeah, it was lucky he had a GoPro. He must have lost a trophy fish earlier. I don't know what he lost. His mind, apparently. Yeah. Yeah, there's a little press conference about it. We won't watch all of it. It's like 10 minutes, but we'll watch the intro to it.
And FWC PIO Brad Johnson here today. We're here today to address an incident that took place and
Okay, we're not going to watch that because the audio is minuscule. These like police and media organizations and things like that, you guys have like an entire media department. Like, can you not afford a decent microphone and like an audio bar or something? Like, every time it's like, hi, we're here today to talk to you about the incident that was on Thursday last week. I'm going to talk in the world's quietest voice. It's like, come on. It costs like $100. I'm sure your department can afford it. Yeah, I know. It's very quiet. I don't know, Joe. And Nana says hello. Hi. It's been all over the internet today, has it? What, the quietness or this particular story? Yeah, it's really quiet here.
it ultimately led to the arrest of Mr. Horner. Florida official
Did they even have a microphone, or is she just talking into an empty room? It looks like there's something on the desk there. Whatever happened, all right, we're not going to watch it because I'm not going to make you suffer through that. Brock Horner, eh? The best goddamn boat captain in Florida. In the world. In the world. All right. Let's see what else we can find about Mr. Boat Captain guy. I want to see if any local news has picked it up. 10 News, Fox 13 in Tampa picked it up. Let's see.
He called himself the best charter captain you'll ever meet. But now Brock Horner of Punta Gorda is being investigated for threatening and boarding a young fisherman's boat. You've probably seen this video of the incident, which has been all over the internet. Through his attorney, Horner apologized for his behavior, saying he's not proud of how he acted. But as Fox 13's Kimberly Quizan reports, many are still disturbed by what they've seen.
An investigation into this incident off of Punta Gorda's coast continues.
All right, bro, I'm not going to do this with you, bro.
Gauge towels recorded as Captain Brock Horner of Tarpon Coast Fishing Charters and a boat full of men pulled up to the 21-year-old's boat. It all stems back to an incident that happened a few days prior, after fishermen say Horner was seen speeding and cutting under the bridge. When other fishermen yelled at him to slow down, Horner accused them of not having their lights on. Tao says he was not involved, but Horner sought him out.
My lights were on. I wasn't sitting there.
Tao's all alone tried to defuse the situation.
All right, bro.
I'm the best charter captain you'll ever meet.
But it escalated after Horner boarded Tao's boat.
Chill, bro. Chill, bro. Please, bro.
Horner was reported to the police the same day. The video has left many shocked.
This is why you have a flare gun and you just shoot him. You just shoot him with the flare gun. Self-defense. Even a real gun. No, we shouldn't be advocating for shooting people. But I don't think he would have got in trouble for defending himself. Like, boarding that kid's boat and then scaring that kid so much that he tried to drive away. I mean, he had to have known he crossed that line as soon as he got anywhere near the other guy's boat and tried to jump on it. What an idiot. What an idiot. They're saying here, apparently the teenager told investigators that Horner had crossed under the Gilchrist Bridge between two anglers at high speed, coming within 10 inches of his vessel and 5 feet of the other vessel, according to the news release. One angler not associated to this incident allegedly cursed at Horner for reckless behavior, while Horner reportedly thought it was the teenager who berated him. Horner demanded an apology before grabbing him by the shirt. He's heard throughout the video apologizing and pleading, please, bro, please, bro. Yeah, I just don't understand what's wrong with some people. What's gone so wrong in your day that you need to do this to, like, someone like that's on their own? There's no one else with them. You seem to have more than one person on your boat, so you're outnumbering them. The dynamics here just don't look good. Yeah, very aggressive for, like, he's just a jerk. He's just one of those people in life that are just jerks. Joe Neal says, not even a spear gun. Yeah, spear gun. Spear gun him and say, I thought he was a giant fish. He was trying to get away. I wanted to reel him in, you know. Ellie is all about not keeping records. Well, sounds like they're keeping the record on this one. Anyway, I don't know how long Brock Horner is going to be in prison for, but probably at least the weekend. I'm guessing probably at least for the weekend. What an idiot. Some people just can't help themselves to be stupid. Yeah, it says here, is Brock Horner the best charter captain you'll ever meet in your effing life? He may be the most obscene, and he's about to be the most famous. Well, he's about to be the most famous in jail. They said he was arrested. He's facing felony charges. Arrested Friday night, days after the video of him of his threatening behavior went viral. He's charged with burglary with assault or battery, a felony. He was released. Damn, they released him. He got released from Charlotte County Jail on Saturday morning on a $20,000 bond. That's a lot of fishes. That's a lot of charters that you're going to have to do to come up with that money. Look, I like how he says in his thing, I wasn't proud of my actions. Then why did you do them in the first place? If you're not proud of them now, why did you do them in the first place? Is fishing that like does it get your testosterone flowing that much that you have to go beat up people while on the water? Isn't it supposed to be like a relaxing thing? You hang out on the water, you like drink some beers, catch some fish, try and relax a little bit. What are you doing, like driving around trying to beat up people like you're a schoolyard bully? What's wrong with you? Yeah, like 21. Yeah, 20 grand bond. Well, it's a felony. It probably based on the charge is what I'm guessing, is why the bond was 20,000. It's probably based on it's a felony and not a misdemeanor. A misdemeanor would have been like $5,000 or like, yeah, $2,000, something like that. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. They're still investigating the case. Well, good for them. I hope they I hope they get him. He doesn't deserve to be on the water if that's how he's going to treat people. All right, we are going to go to a different story if I can grab it. No, that's not it. Ah, no. All right, hold on, guys. There's an update to a case out of Arizona that I wanted to catch up on you with. I posted about it on social media, but I thought we should actually talk about it. So hold on. So, do you guys remember Christopher Schultes or whatever his name is? He's the one who put his daughter in, like, he came back with her in the car and left her in the car to die in like 140-degree temperatures in the car. Had a history of leaving children in the car. Anyway, this came out a little while ago, and I thought since we've been following the case, we should talk about it. I think he is really stupid. They're saying here, an Arizona father accused of leaving his daughter to die in a hot car while he was inside playing on his PlayStation has rejected a plea deal in connection with her death. What? Are you stupid? Like, they offered you a lifeline where you'll actually get out of jail at some point, and you were like, "Oh, nah, I'm good." What do you think you are, innocent? They're saying Christopher Schultes declined a deal which would have seen his charges for the murder of Parker, too, reduced from first to second-degree murder. His refusal means the matter will now move to a trial where, if convicted, he could face life in jail or even the death penalty. By comparison, the sentence for second-degree murder is a maximum of 25 years in jail. Apparently, he pleaded not guilty in August last year, and plea deal negotiations began in November with his trial set for October this year. So I can't believe he thinks he's going to win this trial. I find that hilarious. I find it's like the day he gets found guilty and they're like life in prison or something, I am one, going to laugh severely, but two, remember that a little girl died in all of this. But what legal advice told you not to take that plea deal? What do you think you're going to get at trial? What do you think you're going to get at trial? What do you think? They're going to give you like a year? Oh, I'm holding out for 1 year of jail time. Like, the difference was life in prison or death penalty, or you could spend up to 25 years in jail had you accepted the plea deal. Like, what odds is he looking at? I think it's just bizarre that he would be like, no, I don't want to potentially live and eventually get out of jail. I'd like to die in jail or via death sentence, please. I think that would be great. I don't know who's giving him legal advice, but it is quite funny. Yeah, I want to see if we can find. Yeah, here. Let's go to KOLD.
Christopher Schultes had a chance to avoid life in prison, but he turned it down. Now he's heading to trial later this year. 13 News reporter JD Wallace is live at Superior Court after seeing Schultes in court. JD.
And Schultes said very little, has changed his appearance yet again, but not his plea.
Are you guys all here for my MDX?
In July, Marana police responded to Chris Schultz's home after he and his wife discovered he had left their 2-year-old daughter in the car, and it had an automatic shutoff feature he admitted to knowing about, while video and documents suggest he was inside playing video games for up to 3 hours. The girl was unresponsive and had a body temperature of 108 degrees on a 109-degree day. His wife texted him that she had warned him about leaving the kids in the car.
Mr. Schultz, are you being threatened in any way to reject the plea agreement? Has anybody promised you anything outside of this courtroom or the plea agreement to compel you or help force you to reject the plea agreement? Like, this is your decision? Okay.
As you can see, no glasses for Schultes in court this time, and his hair looks a bit longer and darker than his last appearance in August, which was different from his mugshot. Schultes is charged with first-degree murder and child abuse and has just rejected a plea deal for second-degree murder. He's risking life in prison instead of accepting 10 to 25 years. Defense attorney Louis Fidel, not involved in this case, has explained while premeditation might not fit, felony first-degree murder can be charged when death occurs during the commission of a felony, such as child abuse. Fidel says attorneys give clients the best advice possible to weigh the risks, but ultimately it's the client's call. However he reached this decision, Chris Schultes has decided to proceed to trial.
And understanding the consequences and risks of going to trial, do you want to reject the state's plea offer to second-degree murder? Right, the court does find that Mr. Schultes is knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently rejecting the plea agreement.
Who's been feeding him alcohol in jail? Have you been having too much of that bathtub, like bathtub alcohol in prison? Has Lori Vallow been sending you letters? I don't know what's going on here, but I find it just funny as hell that he decided not to take the plea deal, which, like they said, it is his choice. But I find it interesting where his mindset is at, that he thinks he has a way out of this, that there's some light at the end of the tunnel other than spending his life in jail or being killed over killing his own daughter. We'll see. We'll see when he goes to trial. Rachel said the guy has a history of leaving kids in the car. Even his older daughter said he did when she was young. Yep. And the mum warned him about it several times. She has questions to answer too. I know that she hasn't been charged, but the fact that she wrote a plea to the judge wanting her husband to come home for the funeral of their kid, I have questions about her. Danny Mitchell says maybe Laurie's his attorney. Maybe she's freelancing. Maybe. Honest mistake. You know, a mistake is like when you do something one time and you don't mean it. This is not a mistake. The fact that this is a compulsive behavior that he's done several times over many, many years tells me it's not a mistake. It's a built-in behavioral trait that he does. Like we said before, his oldest daughter remembers being left in the car too. Gayla says on the way home that day, he went into a store and walked out with a beer without paying and then left the daughter in the car all that time. Yeah, alcohol seems to be more important to him than his daughter. Yeah, very bizarre. Very, very. Yeah, 109 degrees. I think they said it was like 140 or something in the car. Like, it might have been 109 outside, but in the car it was almost 150 degrees. Something is wrong with the wife. I agree. I don't know whether she was under some sort of coercive control or shock, or I have no idea, but some of her actions after her daughter's death and before don't make a lot of sense in reality. A series of honest mistakes. You can call that. That's what you should call your novel, Joe. When you write like when you write the book about your life, you can say a series of honest mistakes by Joe Neal. Jonah says, "What's up with the wife not checking the car either?" Yeah, I don't know. I think when you look at this and you look at the letter that she wrote the judge, I think that tells you everything you need to know about her. Everything. It's brutal. She's like, I need my husband to come home so we can bury our child. Why? Why would you want him anywhere near any of your other children? He already killed one. It's bizarre. Danny said JSM told what happens in such deaths. Yeah, I know. I don't want to repeat that. Yeah, I did hear Joseph talk about that. The wife was at work. She's a doctor. No, I know she was at work, but she's the one who came home and found the child or asked about the child, or it was when she got home that everything sort of unraveled. But yes, your autobiography. That's what it will be called. Hold on. Wife. There's also some text messages from them, between them. Yeah, here. Christopher Schulte's wife says he's an amazing father who didn't mean to kill their daughter. All right. Let's see. Can we continue reading? Yeah, his wife begged a judge to let him come home. 4 days after Parker's death, Erica was in a courtroom begging a judge to let her husband come home. The anesthesiologist said her husband was an amazing father, and as a pillar of the community, she also said what happened to their daughter was a big mistake. So she pleaded with the judge to allow Schultes to come home so that we can all start the grieving process, so he can bury our daughter with us this upcoming week, and then we can go through this whole process together as a family. He was subsequently released on a $25,000 bond and was told he could have no unsupervised contact with his remaining children. Yeah, there's some text messages too. Yeah. Yeah, it's here, like, hey guys, give me 1 sec. All right. Yeah, it says Christopher received text messages from his wife while the 2-year-old was being transported to the hospital, stating, I told you to stop leaving them in the car. How many times have I told you? He responded, Babe, I'm sorry. She said, We've lost her. She was perfect. He said, Babe, our family. How could I do this? I killed our baby. This can't be real. I assume that's what his voice was like at the time. Yeah. Sean said, they say gaming has the same effect on the brain as gambling, and gamblers leave children in the car too. Maybe. Maybe that's what was going on. Joe Neal said, I bet he never shook a baby. Well, who knows? Share Bear said, did you cover that pastor John Paul? Did we cover a pastor called John Paul? You mean John Paul, the old pope that died in... No, not that one. Hold on. Oh, John Paul Miller. Yeah, what's going on with him? I haven't seen anything about him. What's going on with him? John Paul Miller, the former pastor at Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach. This week, the sister of Chris Skinner, a quadriplegic Army veteran turned motivational speaker, alleged that her brother took his own thing in 2021 after learning that his wife was having an affair with Miller, his pastor. Miller admitted that he was dating... Oh, brutal. Is that what they're saying? That led to the death? So he's a bit of a... Along with abusing his ex-wife, he's apparently also an adulterer. Chris, all right, let me see if I can get this. Here. They say a scandal-hit South Carolina pastor has dismissed the ungodly accusations that he had any involvement in his wife's death or that he had an affair, which led to paralyzed Army veteran allegedly taking his own life. John Paul Miller, the former pastor at Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach, hit headlines. Death of his ex-wife or late wife, Mika Miller. Skin over the pair. Yeah, he says Mr. Miller admitted that he was dating Susie, Chris's widow, but insisted the pair hadn't started dating until this year. He says Susie and I didn't start dating until January of 2025, just like she stated under oath last month. He says, in fact, it was Micah who asked if we should invite Susie and her twins to go on a ski vacation, and we did so in December of 2022. I don't know. He's a bit of a liar. I wouldn't believe anything he says. I don't know about you guys, but he's very hard to believe anything that comes out of his mouth. I'm just trying to see if I can find a video that can break it down for us a bit better. No, no one's covering it locally. Weird. Only the New York Post and Crime Online. Yeah, let's go here and past week. Weird. I don't know why there's no like local news about it. And I can't play the video that I do have because it's from Crime Online or Court TV. We can't play anything from them. Was released from jail after an arrest for assault. God, this guy's getting done for everything. So apparently he's also been arrested for assault. Released on bond after assault charge. That was ages ago. That was in November. Let's see. New theory in drowning death of quadriplegic veteran whose wife had affair with Mika Miller's husband. They say the quadriplegic Army veteran, yeah, we know that, may have done what he did. They say he mysteriously drowned when his wheelchair fell into a neighborhood pool in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, September 6, 2021. 2 weeks earlier, he confronted John Paul Miller, 44, and demanded the controversial pastor end an alleged affair with his wife of 17 years, Susie. Interesting. They say Skinner's death was ruled an accidental drowning at the time, but the Horry County Chief Deputy Coroner, Tamara Willard, reopened the case last week after mysterious new evidence regarding the manner of death came to light. They say Skinner's sister, Tamara, said the facts of the case now made it possible her brother's death was a S word. It would be fair to say that the coroner has reopened the case because there's been evidence come forward that it could potentially not be an accident. McDermott pointed to the conflicting descriptions in the police and coroner's reports about how Skinner went into the pool despite viewing the same CCTV footage of his death. Well, if that is true, I think it just adds to the legacy of John Paul. I don't know how you can lead a flock of people at a church when apparently you have left a trail of destruction behind you. So I'm glad that's not what he's doing anymore. He just seems like the biggest scumbag on earth. Mika. I always say Mika, but then I was told, no, it's Micah. And I was like, well, I don't care. Chairbear said his girlfriend's husband was found. Yeah, I'm glad they reopened it, but it sounds like they want to change it from an accidental death to self-done is the word I'm going to use. Rachel said, I hope they finally get him on something. He's such a creep. He is a very big creep. I agree. When you look at the things that he did to his wife, how he met his wife, how they came to be together, how their relationship went, the things that happened, and then you think about the other people and the other lives that he affected, including apparently Susie Skinner and her husband. This guy just a real scumbag. That's what I'm going to say. Well, I hope they do give a correct manner of death for this guy Chris, and that's very sad. It's extremely sad for a guy that seemed to like his role as a motivational speaker and seemed to find a way to live his life, even due to his disability. I mean, very, very sad. They said here the appears to have gotten close to. So the coroner's report says he appears to have gotten too close to the pool edge, causing the wheel to slip, and he fell into the pool. But the police report stated Skinner stops at a curve in the pool and then suddenly moves quickly forward and goes into the water. Well, they're very two different things. One sounds like an accident, one sounds deliberate. Like one sounds like an action he actually wanted to do. So I can understand the discrepancy there. They say McDermott said that she watched the entire security footage kept by investigators, and her brother was definitely alone that when he went into the pool. So no third party. Yeah, apparently Miller's first ex-wife, Allison, filed a petition for sole custody of their children last June that included shocking claims about his sex life, including some involving Skinner's wife. Williams wrote in the affidavit that her husband began an affair with Susie in 2021 by using their son, who played soccer with Susie's son, to facilitate their liaisons. She claims her children were well aware of the affair, which their friends also gossiped about, causing them a tremendous amount of embarrassment. Yeah, it sounds like there's definitely some smoke to that fire. It definitely sounds like there's something going on there. Very sad. Oh. Girlfriend called up while they were removing husband from the pool? Jeez. Well, I hope they figure it out. And I hope it doesn't go undetermined. That would be pretty awful. They really do look alike. Her and the other one. They look very similar. Let me see. There's a photo of him right near a pool. Skinner drowned in this pool, near his home after his wheelchair fell into the water with him strapped to it. Police and coroner report offer contradictory explanations as to how that happened. Into this particular water, eh? How awful. How awful. So not only did he destroy his wife, he also decided to destroy another couple's marriage. Now, it takes two to tango. You have to put some of the blame on Chris's wife. It takes two people to commit an affair, and she doesn't get off scot-free either. So if it ends up being that he did this because of what was happening in his marriage, then they are both to blame. Not just John Paul, but Susie as well. Let's see. I want to see if we can find something better about this. Susie Skinner. What? Miller was spotted days after his wife's S word with Skinner's widow, Susie, pounding drinks, joking, and smiling in Little Tokyo restaurant in Myrtle Beach on May 1, 4 days after Mika, their death. There you go. So definitely some smoke where that fire is. Yeah, JP's not a good guy. He is a scumbag. A real scumbag. And the fact that he thought he could lead a church and have a flock. The one thing that always got me, it was the announcement he gave to everyone at the church after she died. I think that showed you how he thought about people, especially the closest to him, like she was, his wife. And he basically was like, oh, yeah, she was like some crazy bitch. didn't take her meds or whatever, and like, oh yeah, look what happened. You know, don't feel sorry for me though. I'm good. Like he basically blamed her for her death and was like, you all know how mental she is, and I was like, how disgusting to talk about her like that in front of like everyone in the church. Like it's so disrespectful. Here, can we find that again? Mika Miller. I don't know if I can find it anymore. It used to be around, yeah, casually announces. Is it this one here? It might be here. I might have found it.
Call today. We're not going to do an altar call today. Instead, I'm going to have you stand up and I'm going to make an announcement. And after the announcement, I'm going to ask that you leave church quietly and don't talk about the announcement here in the building, please, if you can. So y'all can stand to your feet. Before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give for the next, little bit. 'Cause I don't want to have, I'm taking a little bit of a break and I don't want to have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks, I don't know. I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away. And yeah, and it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina. And we're gonna have a funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m. And so it's all I can. Yeah, I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. So y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. And y'all knew that she wasn't well mentally.
You all knew that she wasn't well mentally. Who says this in front of the entire church? Like it's some sort of freaking therapy session where you're with your marriage counselor and you're like, oh, her mental health has been terrible. We all saw this coming. Why would you say that in front of everyone that she would have known, people she would have, congregated with at the church? That shows you the insight into who this guy is. To say that like just after her passing, I think he's just a horrible guy. Case reopened, yeah. That'll be good. Give and give. Yeah, I'm glad they're reopening it. It needs to be clear, like if there was some connection to JP or whatever they call him, if whatever that connection is, if it's between Chris's wife Susie and John Paul JP, whatever his name is, then it needs to be documented. If he did take his life because of that situation, then it needs to be clearly stated that that was the motivating factor, and not be like, oh, it was an accident. The dude that's been in a wheelchair for like years and years suddenly doesn't know how to make his wheelchair like move. No. Seems like it was more deliberate. Joe Neal says, never trust a preacher who dresses like that. Never trust a preacher with a guitar. No, that's what the that's what the Catholics will tell you. Never trust a preacher that has a guitar. Which you go to a Church of England church, you'll get a guitar. Yeah, very sad. Very sad. I don't know what will ever happen to John Paul Miller, whether he'll ever really face anything to do with any of this really, except for the assault charge. But I don't know. I think we all think that this might be the second person who has left this world based on partially and another one fully his actions. So he's got a bit of a death count going, very much like Laurie Vallow. Death seems to follow him everywhere. You feel attacked? Okay. Sean says Kevin Hovind. I don't know who that is. No idea who that is, my friend. Let's see. This week, I really would like to find more about the sister. 6 days ago. Yeah, I'll play this from the Daily.
The embattled pastor husband of Mika Miller, whose suicide was deemed suspicious by family and friends, is now embroiled in another scandal. A quadriplegic Army veteran may have taken his own life after finding out his wife was having an affair with the pastor, his sister says. Chris Skinner, 41, drowned when his wheelchair fell into a neighborhood pool in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina in 2021. 2 weeks earlier, he had confronted John Paul Miller, 44, and demanded the controversial pastor end an alleged affair with his wife of 17 years, Susie Skinner. Chris's death was ruled an accidental drowning at the time, but the Horry County Chief Deputy Coroner reopened the case last week, with Chris's sister citing that it may have been a suicide. The embattled...
Not another step! You can't come in here! Out! Get!
Sorry, I had to turn that freaking whatever the hell that was off. Joanna said, I thought I heard a documentary or something on this guy. I don't know about a documentary. Yeah, Get Out. I don't know what that was about. Hey, Natasha. Yeah, I had to get rid of that. I don't know what that was. That was annoying. Yeah, there you go. Thanks for letting me know about it. I don't know. I think I'd prefer to see charges over his involvement in her death, but I don't think we're probably ever really going to see like really anything about that because they've determined that she died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and I think that was back in last year, something like that. So I don't know if we're going to hear too much more about that. But yeah, he was arrested for assaulting a protester. That's what he was arrested for. All right. I think we're just about done for this Sunday. I don't have too much more I want to talk about, I don't think. You know, I always say that and then I hop off the air and I'm like, oh my God, I was supposed to do that story. How did I forget that? Every time. Every single time. Actually, there was one. Do you remember that we spoke about the teen who was stabbed at the track meet last week? Well, I heard yesterday there was a second incident at a different track meet last night or the night before. Hold on. Yeah, there was one here. Is it this one? There was a secondary one that happened. No, it's not that one. Second. Okay, well, apparently Ping must be lying to you because I can't find it now. But I did hear that there was a second incident. Was it a stabbing or a shooting? Hold on, shooting? I don't know. Maybe Ping is talking lies to you all. I mean, that could be what I do. Okay. So I did it. I can't find it, but I did read in the news that there was a secondary thing that happened. I'm just struggling to find it. It was at another track meet, and this one wasn't deadly. They did arrest a couple of people over it, but Yeah, 24 hours. Okay. I don't know why I cannot find it, but Dallas, Fort Worth? Was it in Dallas? Don't know, but we can go to Dallas and I can talk about this. Dallas police investigate suspected M murder S word. 2 dead, 1 critically injured. They say Dallas police say a 35-year-old man shot 2 people inside an apartment early Saturday morning before turning the weapon on himself. The alleged shooter has been identified as William Calderon. They saying Maria Hernandez, 54, died at the scene, and the second victim was taken to hospital in critical condition. This happened at, today. Maria Hernandez, 1 dead. No update for it though, but Dallas police continue to investigate a homicide that left 2 people dead, another person in critical condition early Sunday morning. Police said the woman died from her injuries and another is in critical condition after a man shot both people before he died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Officers responded to the 13300 block of Emily Road in Dallas about 6:05 a.m. on Sunday to reports of a disturbance. Police said one of the victims was a 54-year-old Maria Hernandez, died at the scene. The other person was taken to hospital. William Calderon, 35, shot both people before turning the gun on himself. That's all we know on that one. Appears to kill himself. I was hoping we could find a photo for you. No, apparently not. Apparently not. But if you're in Dallas, that happened for you today, apparently. Man appears to have killed himself. That's very awful. And he didn't take just one person, he tried to take 2 with him, including a 54-year-old woman and then another person who was in critical condition. Brutal. Guy stabbed 10 times. Is that the new one? It was a dance battle. Okay. You're holding a guinea pig? No, I'm pretty sure it was at a track meet. Here, incident. No, I can't find it. It was in the news, so I was reading about it. I have no idea what. I don't think it was in Texas, though. I think it was in a different state. I don't know. If I ever find it, I'll let you know. But there was a different incident, but I can't remember. Whoa. Let's read this. What happened? A spectator killed by hammer throw at high school track and field event in Colorado. The hammer weight flew out of bounds and struck a spectator in the stands who later died at the scene. That's not a great way to go, but getting killed by a hammer. I don't. Apparently, this happens quite frequently. Apparently, there was another one in January, and then there was another one last year. They said the event, a club track and field meet at the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, was halted after a hammer thrown by a participant went past the barriers and struck a man in the stands. The man was pronounced dead at the scene and has been identified as 57-year-old Wade Langston, per the El Paso County Coroner's Office. Langston was reportedly in attendance to watch his son compete in the event. They say we are heartbroken at this horrible accident and are focused on supporting all involved. The meet was cancelled after the incident or accident, and participants were told to go home. They say Wade was a devoted husband, loving father, cherished brother and brother-in-law, and fun uncle, and even more fun great uncle. He was truly a wonderful person who brought laughter to every room he entered with a great sense of humor. There are no words to express the depth of our sorrow, but we are clinging tightly to the memories of laughter, love that we shared with Wade. We appreciate the outpouring of love and support, but ask for privacy as we process this profound grief. Our thoughts and prayers are with all those impacted by the tragedy. They say the hammer throw event uses a heavy hammer weight attached to a grip by a steel wire. Compared to discus, shot put, and javelin, the hammer throw is a less common field event in the US. Some states, such as Ohio, have banned the sport from high schools altogether. That's an awful way to go, getting hit in the noggin by a hammer throw. Yeah, autopsy report. This one, sorry, it happened back in January. I don't know why this picked up in my list.
We're learning more, meantime, about what happened here at Mountain Light Fieldhouse on the UCCS campus last month. We told you about this when it happened. It's where 57-year-old Wade Langston was killed in really a tragic incident at a high school track meet. 11 News reporter Jared Dean is joining me now from the 11 Alert Desk, and you've been going through an autopsy report that we just received today. What'd you learn?
Yeah, Adam, this was the scene at the field house shortly after he was struck by that hammer that was flying through the air and into the crowd, hit him in the head, and it killed him. Now, you can see just how close the bleachers are to the track where all the action was. According to the autopsy we got from the El Paso County Coroner's Office, Langston was killed after a 25-pound hammer weight hit him in the head, causing blunt force trauma and several other serious injuries. Police have previously reported he was trying to shield his family from the hammer. Shortly after the event, his family released a statement saying in part, quote, "He was a truly wonderful person who brought laughter to every room he entered with his great sense of humor. There are no words to express the depth of our sorrow, but we are clinging tightly to the memories, laughter, and love we shared with Wade." There is a GoFundMe that has been set up for the family. If you wish to support them, you can find that link under this story on kktv.com. It's already set up right here.
Yeah, 25-pound hammer got hit in the head and died from blunt force trauma. Why that popped up on my news thing that I have as like new, don't know. Clearly a murder. I don't know about that. I'd say you'd be hard pressed to make that particular case. I think you wouldn't want to take that to trial. Let's just see. Any breaking news before I go? No, I don't think so. Sundays are all so quiet, especially in true crime. Seems like Monday morning, though, it's like everything just goes bananas. And we get like 1 billion updates for every case you could have ever imagined. By the way, before we go, I saw this guy, and this is not the first person I've seen, but have you heard of these people that go to the like uncontacted tribes on the islands, and they're like, I'm gonna go visit the people with the spears and the pointy things and try and be friends with them. I like you're not supposed to go there. It's actually like a island that's been prohibited from anyone like going there. But people have tried before, and apparently this guy went there and left a Coca-Cola for them. I don't know why you'd leave a Coca-Cola, but sure. I think that's very strange. But the thing is, I remember when a influencer, YouTuber, TikTok person tried to do this once before, and the tribe killed them. Like, they will kill you if you come to the island. They will defend their island, and they'll basically either shoot you with bows and arrows or spear you with a spear or whatever. They don't take too kindly to people trying to access their island. And yeah. So this guy tried to go there and leave them a Coca-Cola. It's in North Sentinel Island off the coast of India. Why he would do... Oh yeah, this was the guy that was killed. This guy was killed by them. He tried to go there in 2018, and they killed him. And then apparently this idiot tried to do the same thing and went there and left them a Coca-Cola. Take heed of this moron and understand that they already killed one white boy. They'll kill more. You're not supposed to go there. You're not supposed to contact them. Yeah, if you've never heard the story of John Allen Chow or whatever his last name is, look it up. It is brutal what happened to that guy. He wanted to go there to spread Christianity to the island. I'm not joking. He wanted to spread Christianity to the people on the island. Like it's the 1700s, and we're going to Africa, apparently. They say, yeah, he was reading through. I'm trying to find the bit. Yeah, so these are the this uncontacted tribe on the island, and where's the bit about where he think he sailed there, and they ended up killing him. Apparently, originally they were really nice to him, and they sort of were like, "Oh yeah, this guy could be all right," and then something went south, and they went, "Nah, we'll just kill him." They just decided to kill him. Why? I don't know. That's what they do, apparently. So this other guy tried to do the same thing, and then now he has been arrested for trying to get to that island. So yeah, don't be going there. They will get you. I'm just trying to see what's happening to this guy. Yeah, apparently they are legally permitted to defend their territory, even to the point of killing trespassers. So if they kill you, then no one's going to be held accountable. They said last Monday an American tourist was arrested for allegedly traveling to a restricted reserve on North Sentinel Island and leaving behind a can of Coke as an offering for the world's most isolated tribe to try. You're lucky they didn't murder you and kill you like they killed that other guy. An evangelist or whatever you call it. Yeah. They must think helicopters are voodoo. I think there's a flight ban over the island, or you can't fly directly over it. There's a video of this tribe. Yeah, there's old video where they've actually flown over and sailed boats near there, and each time they've been attacked. They've had arrows and spears thrown at the boats and the planes and things like that. He was a Pentecostal? Okay. Wendy asks, "Is one can of Coke wouldn't be much to share around?" No, you need to bring like a 24-pack. That would have been impressive. To lug like a 24-pack all the way to the island and leave it as an offering. Now that would have been funny. But one can of Coke, I don't know what it's not going to do anything. But yeah, if you don't know the story about not the first guy, but the guy who died, there is a couple of documentaries on it, and it makes for some interesting viewing if you don't know the story. But I can't believe that guy tried to go there after the other guy got killed. I think that is ludicrous. Please stop being dumb. Actually, don't stop being dumb. Otherwise, I won't have things to talk about on my show. Please, yeah, keep being stupid. I can't believe you would even try. Yeah, I wonder if I can find you a little video before we go of about John Allen. I wonder if there's a little like BBC thing or something. Nat Geo. No, we don't want Nat Geo. This one. No. Yeah, here we go. NBC.
An American missionary who loved the outdoors, John Allen Chow often documented his adventures on Instagram. But these photos would be his last. Authorities say the 26-year-old was killed, possibly by bow and arrow, on what police described as a misplaced adventure in a highly restricted area to a remote island east of India in the Andaman Sea. He was trying to meet and convert the Sentinelese, an endangered tribe photographed here in 2004 that's been isolated for centuries and rejects contact with outsiders who might expose them to disease. According to journals and emails published by the Washington Post, Chow attempted to reach the tribe by boat in the days before his death, but was shot at with an arrow, which pierced his waterproof Bible. He wrote to family, "You guys might think I'm crazy and all this, but I think it's worthwhile to declare Jesus to these people. God, I don't want to die." In a statement shared on his Instagram account, Chow's family wrote, "Words cannot express the sadness we have experienced about this report. He had nothing but love for the Sentinelese people. We forgive those reportedly responsible for his death." This was a
I'm sorry, but when you write a statement like that and you're like, "Oh, we don't blame these people for his death." No, blame your son. He was told not to go there because they would most likely kill him. Something tells me the arrow or spear through the waterproof Bible, it would have been a pretty good omen. Like, don't do this. Leave now. I don't know why you'd be like, hold on. No. Yeah, like, I don't know why you would do that. It would be very like, it seems like the opposite of what you should do. I mean, I'm not making fun of someone's death. I just find it interesting that you'd be like, the spear through the Bible, this must be a sign to keep contacting them. Not just crazy, stupid too. Yeah, he had love for the Sentinelese people. Are you sure about that? I don't think he knows them that well to love them. I think they got to have a better relationship first. Wendy R says, "We're all born ignorant, but one must work hard to remain stupid." Isn't that the saying? I think if you're told not to go to the island, because these people literally don't understand anything outside of their island, and they most likely see you as some sort of crazy, white-looking alien that is trying to come to their island and probably kill them, that you will most likely be murdered, then, probably should just not go there. Probably just stay away. Um He'll never hold the guinea pig again. He will never. He will never. Kaliza said hi, Ping and everyone. Hello. Sean said, it's like jumping in the lion's cage thinking you can befriend it. There was that guy a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, that broke into a lion enclosure somewhere and tried to befriend the lions. And they sort of just like walked around for a bit. And the lions just looked at each other and were like, we're hungry. We should probably eat him. And the lions were like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And they just attacked and killed him. There's video of it somewhere, if you look it up. He had like a GoPro or a mobile phone and was live streaming his adventures into the... Where do these people get these ideas? I don't know. Gayla said, I think they are clever not wanting his germs, especially during COVID. Probably. They're like, oh, we've all heard about COVID, even on the non-contactable island that doesn't have TV, radio, or a newspaper. We've definitely heard of it, though. Wendy R says, the smallpox blankets. Yes. Coke, but no bourbon. Maybe that would have been a better gift. Maybe you wouldn't have been killed if you gave them the bourbon. They'd be like, thank you. Gayla said, I think they really thought dude's not wearing a uniform, he's fair game. That's right. They're like, I don't think he's one of our keepers. I don't think he's going to whip us later on if we eat him. Let's just do it. He's here after hours. Sorry, it's not fun to make fun of people. Ping, what are you doing? I was gonna try and find it. The guy who broke in. Graphic videos. Brit survives. No, he didn't survive. Man mauled to death after intentionally. Is this it? Yeah, might be this one. It says man mauled to death by lion after intentionally jumping into zoo enclosure in India. They said the lion is reported to have mauled the man within 10 minutes. I'm not sure if that's the same one. The one I saw, there was actually video of him like going into the enclosure, and then the lions and tigers or whatever just sort of looking at him, going, "What is going on here? Is this our dinner? Like, what's going here?" You'd have to look it up. Rachel said sometimes it's hard to understand the decisions people make in life. No, I understand the decision the guy made that went to the island and was killed. He just made the wrong decision. No, I get his choices. I just I just think they're stupid. Gayla said it's me saying, yeah, piss piss here, kitty. Yeah, doesn't he say something like that? Yeah, it's me. Yeah, he says like here, kitty, or something. Yeah, I can't remember what that one's called, but they ended up mauling him and killing him to death. Is it this one? No, he didn't survive. The guy died. It was killing closure. Is it that one? It was a while. I think it's happened a few times. I'm not sure which one it was, but there's been a bunch of them. Like here, this was a zookeeper. The guy wasn't a zookeeper. He just broke into the zoo and then was like, I want to play with the hyper dangerous apex animals. And then they just went rah and got him. Did he get a Darwin Award? Hopefully. He should get something for his sacrifice in life. Gayla said, the thing that annoys me is if they taste human blood, they put them down. I have heard that they do that with bears as well. Why? I'm not sure. All right, let's get out of here. We're just rambling. We're just talking about rubbish, not true crime. Although can you charge a lion with murder? I don't know. He didn't realize the lion spoke Afrikaans. Yeah. All right. I love you all. Have a great Sunday. I'll be back on Monday. Well, Tuesday for me, Monday for you. By the way, I want to thank my friend Sean. Thank you for the donation. I really appreciate it. Geez, the time is disappearing. We only have like 2 or 3 weeks until we're heading to the trial. I'm getting a little nervous, but it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun time for you guys. And we're going to see a lot of new things. You're going to get an inside look into trial in Australia. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. All right. I'll see you tomorrow for Monday Nights with Ping. We just changed the name every day. And I'll see you then. Hey, love you all. Good night. Bye.